Welcome. Somehow, I have no idea what that is, but every time I speak, it sounds like the horses are coming. Do you hear the horses in the background? How is it that I am all of a sudden echoing when I'm the one smoking the weed, but you're the one hearing the sounds? Am I that stoned already? What I wanted to talk about right now is that the extension of the days. What that means is there's an interior knowledge between the Mayans that the first 5 days of October are unlucky. Then therefore there is a before the day and there is an after day. There was a before the creation and an after to where it will go, therefore placing each one and its own in the center. So if you finish on creation and the passage is 5, in between it is the 4 that is connected to the 3, 4, and 5. And at the same time, we have the 5, which is the in-between, and which is the connection to the 5, 6, and 7, which would be the before and after. So why I'm mentioning this is because my birthday is on the 4th. Now we are in the 4th month. We are on the 10th day. I am born in October. So tomorrow, if it was really my birthday today, would be the last day, and the reason for the 5th day and the final day for being unlucky that I figured out by going before and after is the after my birthday is the 5th. It is the E letter of the alphabet of the 10th month, in which the 10th month, or 10, is the J letter. In French, putting J and E together make I of who I am. So therefore, if I go to the 6th, which is not supposed to be the unlucky month, is therefore 6 of 10. 6 is F, 10 is J, J and F, which means the business side. So it is no longer unlucky because it is told that it is man of the 6 isles. F, the 6 islands. Why 6? Good question. Never really thought of that. Although I do have my terminology that is spirit, angel, and man, and it is spirit, angel, and the passage. You have your 6. It's a combination of any 6 between the 9 on all 6 sides of the cube, basically. Anyways, to get with it, one of the reasons we stop on the 5th is because 5 and 5 is 10. We do not need to go to the spirit. The spirit only carries the story, okay, within your spirit and within your soul. So the 11 is not needed. So we do not have to count the 5 because that is the passage. So we double up on the 4 angles, spirit, angel, and creation, and man, the gates of heaven, and the birth. And that is your 6 formation, which creates 2 letter L's. If you put them together, you get a rectangular formation, creating a box of 3 across and 4 down, which is the same as you usually see on a telephone dialing system on the ones usually that you pay phone. And their horses are still coming in. There's a possibility that I connect this video here, and I still hear the trotting coming in. That's pretty weird. It's never done this before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower my sound. Maybe I won't hear it. I don't hear it anymore. The joke is on me, I guess. So what we were getting to now is the reason for this is because we don't even need to really mention the 10, okay, because the 4 flipped over to the other side creates 8. The center is the empty part. We already know once we have 4, we have life here on earth. First of all, just to talk about it, it happens. But we go to 5 because it's Liberty 55, because that's the passage. And when you flip that over, everything is created. And because you flip it over and they both touch the passage, that creates an extra connection inside the 5 zone, inside the fly zone, okay, which is 55. That's why it's 10-4 in CB codes, because The 10, the 4 is what created the totality of the existence of the 10. And they use the 04 because in all reality, your digit starts at 0. So it's 10-4 or 10-04. We just say 10-4 because we all know the reality of the digit that is after the Thor. It's X. 4 would be X. We would be the 10 part of the X because we're 60 as man, X. And the word 60, the letter count of 4 has a 60 value. The 4 as a value has a 4, making it 64. Again, 6 goes with 4. So what are we going to do next? Blood, sweat, and tears. Okay, listen to this, what I came up with. Do you know every time you buy something cheap from somebody else, they have to work twice as hard to make any money to survive? And if they're paying people, they won't have enough money to pay these people because you're not paying enough because you're giving it to these big companies who everybody at the end, who pays? The small guy wins, but guess what? The medium-sized guy becomes the small guy. The small guy becomes even worse. He's almost starving. Who you are on welfare today, you'll be starving the same. And we all just keep shrinking, shrinking, shrinking until we're so small or too old and dead and have gone off. So you actually don't notice. It's a slow death. You see, I believe that in the Satan world, there are rules. And you can't do it fast. You can't kill him. There's a way to do it. There's a way to manipulate the people. So the evil way just has the system on how to give man a slow death from his liberty. Wouldn't that make much more sense rather than saying, well, why is the evil here? Why is the evil here? Well, if Eve didn't eat the forbidden fruit, she would never know what evil was. She would only know what she knows of good. She would never even be able to go to the other side because all that was hidden from our knowledge. But when she ate the fruit, we knew right away when we were naked, we were different from the others, so it's a little shy to be different. So it's just a way. I mean, do I think that the book is true? Holy fuck. It's insane. It's so hard to really believe that we're in a world that's so true. But let me finish with the story, okay? So now everybody's starving, but they didn't starve last year. They're starving in the future, and we haven't gotten there yet. But look at what you're doing, because whatever you're doing, you're one of the causes for it. But then today, we can't afford it either. So we're almost being forced at this time because of what happened in the past when all the stores became one. And you know what's funny about the stores today? Those little stores who were just little ones, they're charging more than the giant stores now. So it's just like upside down, where you were supposed to go to the corner and the guy at the cash is supposed to say, hey, you had a little baby here, take home a gum. Give her a gum on me. You know what I'm saying? That gum was a penny, but it was a big thing. He gave it from the bottom of his heart. The unity within two, a group, society, how we broke apart and how we can get back together again. It's not all that hard. Okay, especially for this. Let me tell you the story that's interesting, that's really interesting. The most simple story in the world. Simple than anything else. If you follow these basic laws of judgment today in the present, all those who are born after you learn how it is done, all those in 100 years will be born under the my child that I will have today will now be a great-grandfather. He will be 100 years old, and it will be stowed in his, because that's how he was brought into his life. We have to extinct the world we are in. My world has to go away. The world's has to go away. We must pass 4 generations before we will actually see the cycle of the new worlds coming in under the first birth. We are the first birth. We are the end, the last. We are the connection between the two, between them knowing and them never knowing. But still, I pass it on to my child. My child, because my child had me, he will pass it on to him. So it will not begin yet. My life is not gone. I must be extinct. My child must be extinct. His child must be extinct. And his child's child must be extinct. It is the child after that one that will see the new conscience world come in, that will never understand exactly what we went through, but he will be at the tail end to learn the stories that we've written down, that we've put on YouTube or Facebook. It'll be all over the place. It'll be the most amazing of all times in 100 years from now. It'll be so exciting to come back and see how we made it through the next 2 years of our lives up until October 4th, 2014, because those are the numbers. On the dice, those are the numbers. Another thing I wanted to say, we're going to go back to, what do we need to be self-sufficient? Well, since there's a Sabbath, okay, once a week, so we need a family of 4 will eat what? Family of 5 or 6 will eat 2 chickens. So we need 2 chickens for 52 weeks. We need 104 chickens for the year. Now, do we freeze them? Do we grow them one by one? Do we grow them a little in advance just in case we have a bad shot and we lose all the chickens we don't eat? So we got to organize how we're going to grow our chickens. Now, then again, you can look at us as a Mennonite on the side of the road. How many cows should we have? One of the guys has no land. He needs cows. He's going to take our cows. We're going to take his wheat. And amongst how many people can live like this actually in 6 billion people in the world, where what actually the people in China or in Asia getting $1 an hour, are they living well? Are they okay? I mean, is $1 enough? I mean, I don't know. I mean, now if somebody's being taken advantage of above their to the thing where they're losing their liberties, that disgusts me. It excites me and it disgusts me so much that I see the fine line in between coming, what they say, addicted. The addiction between the fine lines, because it's so great and so tempting, and it's so naughty, and it's so right, and it's so wrong, and it's never right. The drag days. Anyways, what we're going to do now is that from April 4th to October 11th is 165 days, 164 days. Now, if we go down to April, we keep it at April 10th, okay, because that would be today. We'd have 158 days, and we go to October 4th, 158 take away 7. Hold on a second. 158 minus 7 equals 151. Izzy. 51, 151, 1 for 5. What 1 for 5 means, it's a straight expression. It cannot be changed. It is fixed, and it is on the Sanskrit of the Mayan stone. And this is what it is. It's 1 for the totality of the 5. This is what it is. It is the spirit of totality of the spirit. 1 for 1 is, it's 1 spirit, okay, for 5 man for 1 spirit. And I'm going to show you another thing, 1 for 1. It also means love of the angels. And at the same time, it comes back to the olden days, because there's your love, okay, and here's your 151. I did it over here, 151. 151. 1 Roman numeral, 5 Roman numeral 1 means 4 and 6, which makes the M, which means angel and man. So that's the time of angel and man between these 2 times here, the beginning and the end of the singular digit, in which, and one of the reasons is because although 10 is 1 plus 0, okay, the average is less than more. So 10.5, how can I say it? It's in the green area. It's the passage. You can change almost to any door. When you get to the 0 world, 10, 20, 30, whatever it is, you're at the 0. You're at the 0 mark. But especially at 70, because all of the pallets have lined up, all 7 in a row. It's 7 of 9 and 7 of 9, because otherwise you can't have, it's got to be, once you move it, a square, once you move a square, in order to have 90 degrees by, what is it, 90 degrees by 4 is 360, 60 degrees by 6. So if you take 2 Magen Davids, okay, or a Magen David, and each one is 60 degrees, we'd have 360 degrees. So every one of these forms, these shapes, whatever it is, they're all included. Okay, I may have forgotten a little bit what I was going to say. But again, on the dice that was fixed at the same time, what is fixed, what's not fixed, is that 5 and 1 is 6, and 5 and 1 is 6, regardless if it comes before or after. So your totality would be 5, 1, and 1, which is 7. But if you look at it as totality as V minus the 1 is 4, plus the V is 9, birth, plus the V1 is 6, gives you a total of 15. 15 equals the egg. Now that's another number we got to remember, 15, because that brings us into the world of pool, in which the highest ball in pool is 7 on the solid side, and the highest single-digit ball on the stripe side is a 15. 1 plus 5 is 6, and there's a whole story with those pool balls, and they're all they all work out when I'm going to explain it to you. If I explain it properly, you'll be able to do it yourself and understand it yourself. Therefore, you'll be able to give it whether or not you believe in it or not, but it's an equation that can be solved because it's right in front of you. It's more or less, okay, if you mix these two colors, or if you put these two numbers together, or if you do the opposite of the numbers, you'll know all the answers. It's for kids. If I ask the questions properly, you're going to know the answers. I was running into other things that I was doing, just jumped off the record, is that I did this whole car outlet, right? But there's only singles, okay? This is a single. It doesn't touch a double. This one touches a double, right? This one only touches a single, so this is a single, this is a single. This one touches a single, so this is a single, so you have 3 singles. This one touches a double, this one touches a double, this one touches a double, touches a double. You see the way? I'm just singling them out. So at the end, you get 4 green singles and 2 black singles at the end. And that's the numbers of man. This is the roulette wheel. This is the car. This is the raid. This is the train track. This is the honeycomb. Man owns this row over here between 17 and 20 and between 16 and 21. You mean, do we pull on 16 and you got blackjack, or you got 21? Anyways, we're going to cut it short for now, although there's always a whole lot more. I was talking about all these poor people. You see, if we don't save the whole planet, it will come back at us. And if we balance the planet, then everything will be balanced out. There's no way for a sharp curvature if we're still continuously always helping people out, making it go around. It'll continuously go around. You know, if you take your fingers, and if you go this way, it'll grind. But if you go backwards, it'll tick, 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 tick. Just like the Wheel of Fortune, the way it goes click, 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 and then it has space to do that. That's the way it's got to be in life. The money just goes around and around. The minute it builds up too much in one spot, you got too much earth in one spot. Imagine you had too much earth in one spot. Imagine if you had so much money and so much money and so much money that it created 10,000 miles of a ball. And then you took the money ball and you shoved it in space and it fell back down on the earth. 10,000 miles of money going around, falling on the earth, causing a tsunami and wiping out. It doesn't care. When tsunami comes, it don't care who it takes with him. She just comes in and says, you're going to see the wrath. You want to play with my ass, friends? You want to play with the good Lord Creator? What do you think He created this planet for? He waited all these years, whether it's 5 or 10 or every 2,000 or 3,000 years, He shoves another savior into the world, and He comes here and He fights His badass on the earth. And He laughs at you, and He sees Noah come in and the big flood and knock out all the people. And then Moses is all tied up because his people probably did something wrong before that. So eventually, and with time and in time, things are set up so that in time, it comes down to the time like now, to where they call it the final rapture, before the new world comes in and lives its last part of time, the time of the mind, the part of the future that will continue on forever. You see, what I see coming in the future is that what's going to happen is that instead of death coming to the final people in 5,000 years from now, they will just mold themselves right back into heaven, and heaven and earth will recycle into itself and be like 2 lemons over each other. You know, you take like the Olympic zeros and you put them over each other. It'd be like two lemons and a lime or something. We'd probably be in Cuba or Jamaica, somewhere around there for sure. Not in America. It's got a bad taste in the mouth. North America. Who wants to go north? Everybody knows Santa Claus is in the north. You start with the south. Now the babes start. Who wants to go to the north and freeze our balls off? Maybe our minds are screwed up here. You know what? We're in the wrong area. Wow, I came on to do, wait any second, just want to tell you one thing. I'm only going to be doing like a 3 or 4 minute video. So if we've reached more than 20 minutes at this point, something went right. Something I never tried to do. You see, this is the only real part in the video that I'm actually wasting your time trying to make you laugh, that we're at 20 minutes and 44 seconds, if you notice right about now. There you go. Part of space. So where are we in the world? What are we doing? What am I trying to figure out? Why am I trying to figure out any of this? Because it brings great joy to know that, you know what? That eternity is not a dark alley in which you know nothing about it, and the last thought you might have is if you die right now. That's the scariest thing, not to go on to tomorrow. It ends forever and ever, but you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know, so how can you be scared of it? Oh my God, it's ugly. It's ugly. When your mind knows to think and you're on a roll and you know what eternity is, and you do know that what the end can be, it can be a black stillness forever. But they do say if it's electronic, it'll get picked up by the universe and it'll keep on thinking. Thus will it retain a memory. That's the thing I like. I like the memory. I like to get up tomorrow and remember who I was today. There are a couple other things to go in here. I think it was the yard dog I was thinking of. And the yard dog has a number of 6226. Just does. Okay, everybody knows 4 quarters to make a buck. Okay, let's go through this before I leave it go. The one key on your keyboard has this. Who explains the Lord? 34 means 1. 2 has this, means at which world? .com or .ca, basic. Number 3, 3 by 3, everybody knows. 4 quarters make a buck. 5 is the percentage of all. 6 needs a cap. Man needs a hat. He wears the hat of the one spirit in the center, which is actually the energy of Christ that comes in there, which is actually 2, 4, 6, 8. The position is 2 of 1 and 3, the sides of man's soldiers. 7 is 7 and who? And the spirit, of course. That's why the slash is on this angle, making an X in the middle. And then on the top is a skipping rope, and at bottom is a skipping rope as he skips between the upper and lower world, because he is the 7th gate. The star key on your keyboard is on the 8 key, connecting both sides of the world. Does it actually show 3 lines or only 4 lines? You see, each world only has 3 lines in it, making it to 6 points. 6 points and 6 points actually come to 4 lines because some of the lines are doubled over. Then we have the brackets between 9 and 0, or 9x, or 9 is the birth, and the brackets is the egg within, which will become a 0.5, which will be an 8.5 because it can't sit on this side, it has to sit on this side. And 8.5 is the heavens of man. The number, the avatar of man, the reality. They call us 6, but we are 0.5. Call me Raphael, 7286. I will stop this on 2345. Thank you, my friends.